It's summertime and it's heating up, so today we're going to install a ceiling fan and make it compatible with HomeKit. Welcome and thanks for watching. So in a previous video, I already covered the Lutron Caseta wireless fan controller that we'll be using today. In that video, I showed how to install both the fan control, light dimmer switch, and set them both up into Caseta Smart Bridge. Today, we'll be concentrating more on installing a ceiling fan and setting that up with the Caseta wireless fan controller under HomeKit. So if you'd like to see a video more narrowly focused on the fan controller and ceiling fan installation, stay tuned. This video is just for you. So here's the office where I'll be installing the ceiling fan. As you can see, I already installed a Lutron Decora dimmer with HomeKit to this so that it controls the can lights in the office. I also have this switch here that controls nothing because it controls a ceiling fan. And the wires it's already pre-wired, and it's up here. You can see the can lights on, and there is the plate, and behind it is a saddle box that can hold light fixtures or a ceiling fan. So I'm fortunate that this room is already wired up for a ceiling fan. I have a switch near the door over there, and above me is a saddle box for holding light fixtures or ceiling fans up to 70 pounds. Today we'll be installing a Hunter ceiling fan that I got for about $50 during a sale at Lowe's. So in essence, I have a HomeKit ceiling fan for about $110, and that's a good deal in my book. So let's get to it and unbox this ceiling fan and go through the parts and tools I'll need to complete this job. So here we go. Here is the equipment we're going to install today. I have a Hunter ceiling fan and the Caseta wireless fan control. So I'm not going to unbox this because I've already done a video unboxing this. If you want to watch the unboxing and a more detailed description of installing the Caseta wireless fan control, I'll put a link to the video somewhere up here right about now. So if you want it more in depth about the Caseta wireless and want to see an unboxing of this, go ahead and watch that video. So for now, all we need to really unbox, since I covered the Lutron Caseta wireless fan controller in another video, is the Hunter ceiling fan. So I've never installed a ceiling fan, and I'm going to see how difficult or maybe not so difficult it is. Again, this room that we're installing this in is pre-wired, so I don't have to worry about running any wire or calling an electrician. So let's go ahead and unbox this and see exactly what we'll be installing and or needing for this install. So inside we have the instructions. And this is the Hunter Allendale, and I got this for about $50 at Lowe's. Good deal, and making it HomeKit for another $50, $60 is an even better deal. And here are the fan blades. These are double-sided. This is more a red, kind of cherry looking texture. And this was like more of a brown, a dark brown. Probably be using the dark brown, kind of like that. And let's see. This is a bulb and bulb. So this came with a light fixture that I can use with the fan. Since this room has can lights, I won't be installing the light fixture. I prefer not to have the light fixture. It's already pretty well lit in here, so I won't be installing that, but there will be parts for that in here. Here it looks like the holders for the fan blades. This looks like the cap, I believe. I'm not sure, but there is a cap if I'm not using the light. I use that to cover the area where the light installs, and it says Hunter right there. Oh, these might be the down rods. Again, I'm not sure. I've never installed one of these, but perhaps that's what they are. Balancing kit. Seems to be maybe more involved than I anticipated. Let's remove this top part. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is the light fix. So this is the light fixture. So here's where you put the bulbs. Pull chain for the lights. Again, I won't be installing the lights. I don't feel I have a need for the light fixture, so. Here looks to be the mounting for the fan and the motor itself. That looks like the motor for the fan. And it's where you wire it. And there it says Hunter. Again, brass, sorry. And the wires. Probably a little too much wire as I'm looking at it now. So I'll go ahead and set this aside. And what else is in the box? Oh, this is the glass. There's also the glass covers in here for the lights, if I was to use the lights. It's pretty nice frosted glass, but I'm not gonna use the lights, so I'll pack that back in there carefully. And maybe at some point, I will want to install the lights, or maybe I'll move the fan if I get another fan in this place. I got more than one room that has a ceiling fan is pre-installed, so I could always move that to one of the other bedrooms. So that looks like that is it for everything that comes into Hunter ceiling fan. Again, this was the Allendale ceiling fan. And that's what it's gonna look like once it's installed, except I won't have the lights again. Okay, so let's go ahead, get to it and start the install. So some of the tools we're gonna need for this job is a screwdriver. And I also like to use, if I'm the only one working, and I'm probably gonna be working one-handed quite a bit, because I'll be holding something, I'm sure, while installing screws. I also have a powered drill with bit attachment, and this also has torch settings, which is nice. Some wire strippers to clean up the wires, because usually previous installs are pretty messy, so sometimes I like to clean up the wires. Pair of pliers, and I have this to test the current, make sure that the current is turned off when I turn off the breaker box, just to make sure there is no electricity going through there and I can avoid any accidental shocks. And although I couldn't fit it here, I'll also be using a ladder. So that's all the tools we need, and let's go ahead and get to it. So one of the tools I'm going to need is a screwdriver. I typically like to use manual screwdrivers, but for this job I'm going to go ahead and use a drill with a bit attachment, just because if I'm doing this by myself, which is more likely I'm going to have to be holding along with installing screws, so it's a lot easier this way. So first we have to take the plate off. And in there you can see there's wires and a saddle box. So I already turned off the power at the breaker box, but just to be sure, I'm going to use this tester, which will let me know if it turns red. You can see that? If it turns red, that means there's still power. And it's not, it's green. So there's no power going here and no risk of shocking myself. So next thing I'm going to need to do is install this bracket, and it comes with included wood screws. So I'm going to go ahead and mount that here. And first I'm going to pull down the existing wiring, because this is what I'll be needing to connect the fan later. So here's the motor. I already chose the standard down rod. So what I can do is I can let this hang here on the brace while I wire it. And let's hope I don't drop it. Okay, move all the wires so that I can access them. And there, that is sitting right in the brace, and nothing left to do but wire it up. This comes with pretty long wires. If you have longer down rods, they're saying I can cut or trim these. I'm gonna probably cut them a bit, but I'm gonna try and save as much as I can in case I want to move this fan to another location, which needs a longer down rod. And then I'll just put this canopy over and use the screws to hold it down. So here are the fan blades attached to the arms, and now all we have to do is attach them to the fan motor up here. So next thing we need to do is to attach the housing, the switch housing for this. This had the lights attached to them. I had to disassemble the lights, remove those, and then put this cap on here. So nothing left to do but to plug this in here with these wires here. Fans all installed. So the only thing left for me to do here is to swap out the switches with their respective Caseta switches. So fan controller goes here, and dimmer switch is going to replace this dimmer switch here. And they're both Lutron Caseta wireless switches. So I'm going to go ahead and run through that. If you want to see a detailed install of how to put these in, again, I'll link the previous video here, and you can watch a more detailed install on that video. But I'm just going to go ahead and plug these in, and I'm going to turn everything on and see if it works. Hopefully it does.
So as you watch me install these switches, one thing that I must give credit to Lutron for is their smart dimmer switch is probably the easiest to install. Just like the original dumb switches already in my home, I just needed to connect the ground to the bare copper wire and the other two wires to either two wires in the switch box. There is no need to worry about which one is line and load like other smart switches. Also, it doesn't require neutral wire, so this is probably your best bet for older homes that don't have a neutral wire. On the other hand, the fan control switch does install like other smart switches on the market. You'll need to connect the bare copper wire to ground, the line hot wire to the black screw, and the load to the yellow wire, and a neutral wire is required, which is typically white. Other than that, both are pretty straightforward installs, and if you happen to have any questions regarding the wiring, post them in comments and I'll try and answer as best as I can.
Now let's go turn on the power.
So let's go ahead and set these switches up in the Lutron app so that we can get them into HomeKit. And to do that, I'm going to touch the device icon in the upper left, and it's going to be add device, and it says choose the type of device you would like to add to the app. It's loading, and I have an option of Caseta in-wall dimmer switch and fan control. I'm going to choose that, and it says please press the lower button until the LED blinks rapidly or quickly. And there it goes. Now it's going to give me options where I can put them. This one is in the office. Next. And it is the main lights. Ceiling lights, main. And next. And set up. We're going to go ahead and add another device. And I'm going to check Caseta in-wall dimmer switch and fan control. Once again, press and hold the bottom button for 10 seconds until the LED blinks quickly. There it is. And in the office again, there it is. Next. fan. And there you go. Both are set up in the Lutron app. I can control the brightness of the dimmer there, and I can control the speeds of the ceiling fan here. Low speed, and there's 4 speeds in this controller. And so now that everything is set up in the Lutron app, I can go back to the Home app and check if the devices are loaded there, and they should be, because both these switches should now be connected to the Caseta Smart Bridge, and that will add them to HomeKit and the Home app.
So there's the fan. It is spinning and the lights are on. I'm gonna go ahead and pull on this pull chain. It is right now, if I look at, let me go into HomeKit. These should already be in HomeKit. So right now we have the fan here. You can see that in HomeKit. And this is iOS 13, so the controls are a little different than what you might have on your phone if you don't have iOS 13. This is the beta installed. So that's what the control looks like in HomeKit. So it is at the fastest speed. And actually, turn it off. What's cool is now I can pick a ceiling fan. And there's the ceiling fan indicated. And let me go ahead and choose the fastest speed. I'm gonna turn this back on. Here. Right now it says it's in the loft. I don't know why it says it's in the loft. I thought I picked office when I set it up. So let's go ahead and let's move it to the office. Right now it's at 100. So I'm going to pull the pull chain, and I don't know if that's the fastest speed. It might be. If not, I guess I'll find out. So that is right now on the fastest speed, and with the HomeKit control, we can see it's at the fastest speed. Oops, let's go back to HomeKit and we can lower it. 75 down to 50, and I can hear the fan spinning down, and then 25, and then off. Go ahead and turn it back on to 100. It's kind of warm in here, and that works pretty well. Well, you know what? Since I always like to test Siri, let's go ahead and turn it off. I renamed it. It says ceiling fan now in the office. So let's go ahead and see if Siri can turn it on. Turn on the ceiling fan in the office.
Okay, the ceiling fan is
As
on.
you can see, it starts up. Hold the button down. Siri, set the office ceiling fan to 50%.
Okay, I set the ceiling fan to 50%.
And if we look at the widget, it's halfway speed. That works pretty well. Pretty straightforward. Again, the Caseta switches work pretty well. And that was a ceiling fan installation with Caseta ceiling fan controller and in essence, a HomeKit ceiling fan for about $100. That's a good deal. I'll take that. So that's gonna do it for my ceiling fan install today. It was actually easier than I thought it would be, but then again, I had a pretty good head start with this room being pre-wired already. Now, when it gets hot, while I'm working or busy creating on my computer, I can ask Siri to cool the room from the comfort of my desk, or ask Siri to air out the office if I'm arriving on a particularly hot day. Again, all for about $100. One thing you should keep in mind if you're trying or planning to follow my install or similar install, purchase a ceiling fan with pull chains and not the ones with the remote control. The remote controlled ceiling fans are not compatible with the Caseta wireless fan controller that we use today. Other than that, a pretty straightforward install, and I'm actually quite pleased with the results. Once again, thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel and want to explore setting up your home to be a HomeKit compatible smart home, please hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to get notifications for when I post new content. And until next time, as always, please be safe and take care out there.